Everybody, welcome back to Buddy Pass Podcast, episode 23. Always brought to you by the Masshole Perspective. If you haven't, go check them out. They've been buzzing, especially with the playoffs going on for all four sports. But anyways, we got the whole crew back together. Aiden, Mr. Crowley is finally back after a
We
long.
found him.
We found him actually passed out in the Sahara Desert, but we got him, fellas. Aids, how are you, buddy? How was your trip?
I'm tired, but no,
Yeah.
trip was great. Couple long days in the car.
Mm.
So for those of you that don't know, I'm from New Hampshire. So from New Hampshire straight, we drove to Austin, Texas. New Hampshire straight to Austin, Texas is a 30-hour drive.
That's more than a day.
It's a little
Yeah.
bit more than a day. We
Like
didn't
6
do it.
hours more.
Yeah, we didn't
Like a
do.
fourth.
All right, you guys done doing your math?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right, word. We didn't do it straight. We left at midnight Monday night, went right to DC, which was honestly okay. If you live in DC, I fucking hate you because DC drivers are the worst drivers in the world. So I did most of our driving in DC, and I swear to God, everything about that trip or that day in DC was fantastic, except for sharing the road with people that don't know how to drive.
With
Yeah,
scumbags.
New
Worse-
York, New York drivers are bad. New Jersey drivers are bad, but
I mean,
DC,
Boston drivers are
well,
bad.
yeah, Massachusetts drivers are bad. I guess New England drivers just fucking
we
suck.
Yeah.
suck.
We can blame it on the shitty roads. The roads
Okay,
are bad.
all right.
so-
Infrastructure is pretty bad here.
Yeah.
DC was great, and then we drove straight to Austin. 25 hours, didn't sleep anywhere, just in a car for 25 hours. That was brutal. It was
Wow.
fun, but it was brutal.
How are you doing that without like any nose beers or anything? Like, what are you 25 hours straight?
Well, yeah, I mean, we
Um,
stopped for dinner, we stopped for lunch.
And you like rotated drivers, I'm sure.
Yeah,
obviously.
there were 6 of us total in a rental car, um, a minivan, Dodge Grand Caravan,
Ooh, paddy
which was
wagon.
actually sick. The car was actually really nice. It bumped, which was awesome. That was a necessity. But no, Austin, great people in the South. COVID doesn't exist, which was fantastic. And the people are so nice in Tennessee and Arkansas. That's a route we took.
Where my mom's
was-
from.
Kansas.
My
You're-
mom's from
that's
my
right.
mom and my grandma, Little Rock, Arkansas. Born and raised.
Right.
Hee-haw.
That's right. We drove right by Little Rock. No, all the people down there are super nice. But so on our way home, 2 things to note about our trip home.
Mhm.
One, we stopped in Nashville for
Oh.
lunch one day.
That's sick.
Really good. Obviously, Tennessee, great people. So we're driving. We pull up to a restaurant, and across the street, there's a dude just AR-15 walking around, AR-15. I'm like, holy shit. So we're parked. We're waiting for our food, and I'm like,
Gosh darn south.
do I
Sorry.
go outside and wear a mask just to piss this guy off?
What? The guy with the AR-15?
The guy, yeah, because do
You
you
want to
think?
piss that guy off?
Well, no, that was my game. I was like, do I want to put my mask on and go piss off the guy with the AR-15?
You're his game.
Yeah, you're his prey.
Oh, I know.
That's your game?
So what do you do? Did you do it?
No, so I didn't do it.
Good. Okay.
'Cause I
that's why, that's
knew
why
I
you're
was gonna
here.
He's here.
I knew I was going to get shot. But so the other thing, so we're driving back, and we all got disposable cameras for the trip. We all pretty much had one disposable camera. And for those of you that use disposable cameras, you know that the flash on that camera is so goddamn bright. And I didn't realize that at first, but whenever, like the first time we took a picture together with it, it was like we got flashbanged. It was crazy. So we're driving back home, and we're on the highway. It's nighttime, maybe 10 o'clock. My buddy Anthony's driving, and my stepbrother Ben is in the passenger seat. And he goes to take a picture of the car, a truck next to us, turns like flash on and everything. It flashes, but he had the window up. So he's like, no, I don't think it'll turn out great. So he rolls down the window, 10 o'clock at night on the highway. He puts the camera out the window. My buddy Anthony's trying to drive away so he can't take a picture. Ben
Yeah.
clicks it. The whole highway lit up, everything. The car clear as day. You could see the driver, and we all lose it. And thankfully, he was like getting off the highway. But like, if he wasn't, The dude was pissed. He was pissed.
That guy 1000% thinks that the
Is
FBI is after him now.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Ben,
So
like,
we peeled off.
what was he thinking?
I don't
Does he
know.
have a pea brain?
We all did. I mean,
He might have a peer brain though.
small like
No
a half pea
pod.
brain.
No
No
pod,
pod,
all
just straight pea.
Oh, Ben, you're better than that.
But so that was fun.
But wait, sorry. When you said like truck, do you mean just like a pickup truck with a
It was
guy, or
just-
like a
Yeah, it was just a
18-wheeler
pickup,
truck?
just a
Yeah.
pickup
okay,
truck.
okay.
So classic. How are the like the bars though? How are the bars? Like, how's like the drinking culture down south?
Pretty good. Honestly, was fun. We went to a couple on Friday night. We started at a really fun one where it was just one woman working the entire bar doing a million things at once. She was fucking sick.
Bless her.
Big tip for her. And
Hell
then
yeah.
we were kind of figuring out what else to do, and there was another really popular bar not far from us. We were like, let's go check that out. So I said it before, COVID does not exist in the South. Straight up, we were in the real world as we know it up here was completely different than it is down there, which was really nice on the one hand, but it was really weird too. It's a little bit of a culture shock. So we get to the second bar. We walk inside. No one under the age of 40. There's maybe 100 people, and everyone's like smoking inside. No
Cigs?
mask. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Bring me there. I
There
need to
were-
go there.
There were slot machines in the bar. There was live music, and I'm like, what? I've never seen anything like it before.
That's sick.
That's so sick.
But we walked in and no one was under the age of 40. Everyone was smoking inside. So we're like, all right, let's find a different one. Because it was
Unreal.
those
That's
people were
wild.
rowdy. But no, I have nothing bad to say about the South. Like I said, everyone's super nice. Was a really great time. Everyone was exhausted, but was a super fun trip. And you guys had a sick episode last week.
I was gonna say,
Fucking unreal.
I was gonna say, well, that concludes our interview with Aiden Crowley. Thanks for coming, buddy. But I still have
Oh.
to introduce our other co-host, Brett Tibbetts, because we just finished up an episode. We're coming off a hot penalty kill episode. We were shorthanded.
He go.
But
Yeah,
you guys did a killer job. Let me tell you.
We
killed the
let it
penalty.
fly. Yeah, we let it fly. You know, talking layers, swoop. Not too hard on the forecheck.
You guys
Pressure
were
him one way.
the Marshawn and the Bergeron of the PK. That was you guys.
Dibs
last episode.
Marshawn.
Tibbs Bergeron.
Okay, yeah, actually, I don't know why.
Yes.
Whatever.
Idiot.
Fuck you.
Patrick Bergeron. But yeah, dude, it was a good episode. I think we just kind of let it fly, and at the end of it, we just let the brains go. I think it was really more for
Mhm.
us than the fans at that point. That last 30 minutes. So I mean, if you made it all that way and you liked it, hell yeah, man.
We honestly didn't realize we had been going for that long too. So,
yeah,
it was a good hour and a half. I think you might have just said that, but
that's our fault.
yeah.
No, it was.
Yeah.
I played it in the car once it was released. For
Good job.
everyone, because we were
Oh my
still
God.
driving. We were in Tennessee at the time that it dropped, so we had a full drive ahead of us. And I put it on because I had aux. I was driving, and everyone in the car loved it. Listened to it for like 45 minutes before I had to switch. But Raff, the great segue for the 99s. Beautiful phone call there. And I know you have some news
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
regard to that. So
So I'll announce it live. I'll finally come forth and address the press about it, the media. But yeah, I'm no longer a part of the 99 organization. I had my first day on my PTO, my professional tryout offer. First day there, I think that was on Thursday. And then on Friday, man, I got to 3. I had a shift at 4. I got there at 3, or I was still at home at 3. And I'm just like, I can't do this. I just don't think my body's not there. I want to be with my family. I'm a solid vet. I've been in this game for a long enough time, and I don't think the passion's there anymore. So we gave the old GM a call, and I literally go, some like waitress that was there, like hostess. I go, hey, it's Chris Rafferty, dishwasher, new, supposed to be in at 4, not coming in. I quit. And then she goes, oh, okay. Do you want me to like tell the manager? Do you want to talk to the manager now, or do you want me to just relay the message? I go, I'll relay the message. Thank you. Hung up. And then I on my story, I took a video of me and my fit because I just like
Can
now I
we
have a
put
free.
can
You
we
still
put
have a
that
fit?
video?
We can put it in the
Okay,
video
yeah,
if you
Please,
want.
right
but-
now. Can we put the video in?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
put it in
okay.
now.
Okay.
So I just quit my job at the 99. I worked there one day yesterday. Had shift at 4 today. I quit. Hence I don't have it. But you got to see the fit I copped out of it. Let me give me a second. Give me a second. Are you serious? Wait. I mean, I'm drippy. I mean, I just got a Halloween costume for free.
So yeah,
Alright.
dude, that was just me in the Halloween fit for next year. You'll be seeing that.
Halloween
It's dude, the low key like, but without the hat, it's kind of a fire fit. Like, I'm
Dude-
not even like. Just
Oh,
making a
dude, I
joke.
fuck with the cap.
So yeah, I'm no longer part of the organization. It was fun while it lasted. Roll nines to the day I die. Do have a big announcement coming soon via Twitter. I don't know if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me. I've been kind of going off lately.
He has.
By going off, I mean I tweet a lot. I'm not saying they're good. They're probably just.
Oh,
What,
come on.
what's the
Most
ad?
people-
What's your Twitter at for people
I think
listening?
it's
I think
Chris
Chris.
Raff 2. Let me
think
check right
it's-
now.
I thought it was
Raff
like
and
Chris
two.
2 Raff.
And maybe Chris 2 Raff because I had to get
Oh,
a new.
yeah.
It's Chris 2 Raff. I had to get a new one after my boys hacked me in high school. That was fun, but
Nice.
yeah, Chris 2 Raff, 2 Fs.
So
Um,
what actually happened with the 99? Did like I
No,
know that was
what
that was a good bit, but like did you just get lazy and you didn't want to work there? Did something else come up?
No,
Like
I told you what happened. I just called them and I said I'm done.
but no reason? You just
You-
were
There was
Did
different
you
things,
work
like,
one shift?
I worked for 7 hours, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And they gave me a free outfit and free food. And well, dude, I low key was like, I found out they were only gonna put me on for Thursday, Friday, and Sundays closing, and I was like, I specifically told them no when I was interviewing that. And also, dude, like, I just lost a passion. I loved it for my 5 years at Panera, and
it's just
that's
different.
when I was a young gun. I was a prospect, and I loved that, but
Yeah.
it's just not the same anymore, man. I just lost the fire, and
Different
I was
Sometimes
a-
you just sometimes you just don't fit the system of the organization.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I do have a big announcement regarding the next place I work coming up in about a week or two. I'll save that for a tweet, maybe the next episode, make another stupid bit about it. But yeah, I've been just doing that, and I
And then the week after that, a bit about how you quit.
Yep.
I can also do another bit about how I fart on your pillows at night. But actually too, I have a cousin. My cousin had a child. We had a new Rafferty in the world, Jed Rafferty, couple months old, such a beauty.
Jedi.
Dude, he's supposed to be-
Jed?
Jed, J-E-D,
Fuck, dude.
Jed, beauty. And so I met him, and then I've only met my other cousin's kid once, Henry. He just turned 2, beauty. But like, so he's like 2, so you can like kind of do things at 2. I'm pretty sure. I mean, he was doing things, not like sentences, but like one-liners. That's your guy as a 2-year-old. So
So you're basically a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
literally. But yeah, so then I, kind of the first time like family party with him, and he's meeting, cousin Raff. So I walk up to him, and the first thing I say to him is, I'm like, "What's up, little moose?" Give him like Knuckles. And throughout the party, I'm like, "Henry Knuckles," and he does it like, obviously he's not like swag with it. He just kind of like fucking throws his fist at my fist.
Yeah.
And then it was by the end of the party, man. He was loving it because I would like give him like Knuckles, and I would be like, yeah, like when he like did it. So then at the end of it, I go, Henry Knuckles, and then he goes Knuckles, and like he says Knuckles, and like gives me Knuckles, and I was like all my family, his dad's holding him, like my cousin, and like everyone's like looking around, and I'm like, did I just teach this child a word, Knuckles? And then I was thinking, wait till this kid grows up and realizes there's a K in that word. His whole world will be flipped upside
I'm gonna
down.
fuck him up with that.
Yeah, but cool kid
That's so
though. I
funny.
fuck with him so far. He's my OG, Henry.
I
Yeah.
actually, talking about like younger cousin stuff, I, as of May 27th, I am an uncle. My
Really?
my half brother and his wife had welcomed their first child to the world on May 27th, a month early actually. She was due June
Hell,
27th.
I don't know what
But
that
she's
is.
doing good. She's doing well. Her name's AJ, Amelie
Mhm.
Jean. Jean's the middle name.
Ooh,
Amelie's first
fire.
name. Going by AJ Tibbetts.
That's
So
fire.
yeah, that was exciting.
Fucking
But
nice.
we were actually, so that was on May 27th she was born, and I left for Aruba with my family on May 27th.
Mm.
And so we wake up at like, our flight was at like 10 or whatever, and so we wake up at, I don't know, like 6-7 o'clock. We wake up to leave for the airport, and my dad wakes up to a text because it's my half brother from my dad's side, and so it's my dad's grandkid. AJ is my dad's grandkid, and my dad wakes up to a text from my brother saying that like they're about to have the baby, and my dad was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" Because like he wanted to be there, obviously, but like we're hopping on a flight in 3 hours, so like he was like, "Oh man," he was pissed, but yeah, that was exciting. So
Oh yeah.
Uncle Tibbs, Uncle Brett.
Snaps for the circle of life. Very nice, very nice.
Very
Congratulations.
nice.
Congratulations, them too. Well, hell, man, we caught up a lot. We haven't talked in like all three of us in like over a week,
I
so
know.
this is a little bit longer for everyone listening. But want to get into puck talk, fellas?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I say we have to start with the final round of the first round, the final series of the first round in Toronto and the Canadiens. Wow, fellas.
Dude.
Wow.
Like it's so unbelievable but believable at the same time.
I saw a crazy stat about this. So yeah, everyone probably knows Spin Chicklets that listens to this. Like it's a hockey thing too. That guy already there and one other media person in the entire North America predicted Habs. Only two of them predicted the
Mhm.
Habs and then got it right, of course.
Yeah.
Everybody else had Toronto and their mothers.
Which is a safe bet though. Like
Yeah.
think about the buzz that this team had all season long. Matthews puts up 41 goals in 52 games. Marner,
Fifth in scoring, I think.
no, I think
Fifth or
Marner
sixth.
was fourth. Matthews was fifth.
Oh, okay.
Like both of them combined for 120, 130 points this year. Like you have one of the deepest lineups.
Jack Campbell,
Jack
come out
Campbell
player.
standing on his head.
Yep.
One of the sickest goalies all season long.
Yep.
Or at least half the season, because Freddie kind of shit the bed a little bit and got hurt and has probably played his last game in a Maple Leafs jersey.
Yeah.
And like, dude, what happened? It's a goddamn curse.
Oh, dude. So awful. Fucking poor team, man. Like, I was just sorry. I was on my phone trying to find this other stat because you said like weird stat, Raff, and I wanted to bring up the Jesperi Kotkaniemi stat.
My God,
from,
that is fucking
Dude,
weird.
it's so last night, I think it was in game 6 of the series, or maybe it wasn't game 7. But Jesperi Kotkaniemi, who's number 15, in his 15th playoff game, scored at 15-15 into overtime on the 15th shot of overtime and ended with exactly 15 minutes time on ice. So that was game 6. Sorry, not game 7 because it was in overtime. But dude, that's wild.
Just wild. And you see too, they input these younger kids into the lineup. Some magic happens. I mean,
He was scratched in game 1.
Yeah, you got KK Kotkaniemi with a game-winning goal in overtime. Then you saw
when they're
another
down
game
3-2 in the series.
Yep, and then
Like,
another game, you have Caulfield picking off a pass. I mean, it was a bonehead pass by, I forget who made the pass on
Dermott.
Toronto. Dermott, yep. Him and Suzuki, two young guns, their future right there. Their future won them 2 of those games single-handedly.
And both of them were 2 of those 3 were scratched the first
yeah.
Few games.
Caulfield and Kotkaniemi, yeah.
And I think that Toronto really needs to take a very, very long look at themselves and say, where do we need to go as an organization? And I really feel like, I don't think it's a skill. I don't think you can just, if you lose a series, you don't win the cup one year. I don't think it's always just, oh, we just need a better team. You need better players, more points, more points, more points. I think there's a culture, there's types of guys. The type of guy you are and leader you are, like how hard you are on the ice, doesn't show up on a score sheet. You can't put up 40 goals for being a nice guy, but you can fucking lead a team by being a hard fucking worker, a little water bug, you know, guys that bring intensity, shit like that. And I swear to God, in no means, I don't think Jack Campbell lost in that series. I think he did his job. He kept them in it. If you can't score, what was it, more than 2 goals in that last game,
Yeah.
you probably don't deserve to win it either way.
And that
No.
and that last one was with like what, a few minutes left when they had the goalie pulled, right?
Yeah,
And so, but I also we briefly mentioned it before. I forget if it was while we were recording or just talking, like outside of the podcast. But the whole thing about like hitting and physicality in the playoffs. Like I know the Leafs during the regular season were one of the, like, they didn't hit a lot. They were one of the lower hits per game teams, and I believe the Habs were at least like in the top half. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're rather up there. But so I know when we like talked about that one time, we were curious like what the correlation is between how often a team hits and how far they go in the playoffs or like being Stanley Cup champions. But I don't know. That was one thing that played into my mind. Not that that was the only reason the Leafs lost, obviously not. But I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that a team that doesn't hit a lot, even though it's the Leafs, like doesn't make it past the first round against a team like the Habs. You know, like who knows how different it would have been if they were a physical team.
Yeah.
So, all right, hold on. We can cut this out. But before I get into my next point, Brett, your mic sounds weird.
Yeah.
What about it? Like,
So when you started talking a few minutes ago, it like when you were like leaning over with your phone, it crackled like we couldn't really hear you. You were talking through a toaster, and now it just sounds different.
Sounds like muffled a little bit, or it sounds like you're calling in or something.
Yeah,
all
Is
right,
it-
give me a sec.
yeah,
One.
good one.
Thank you. I'm here every day.
What about now?
Much better.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Just let me know if it sure the crackle or afstool.
Fuck off.
yeah. All right, no, you're good now. You're good.
It's a lava
Okay.
chew.
Just if it starts happening again, literally just interrupt me.
Yep.
Somebody
Before we come back in, want to just should we just keep going with it?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about a few more stuff.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Start up.
No, the other thing that's interesting is like what, because Raph, you kind of said it, like, what do you do now? So they have, I think it's, what is it, 12 UFAs coming up this year. Notable names: Nick Foligno, Freddie Anderson, even though I don't think they're re-signing him.
Yeah.
Riley Nash, Dave Riddick probably won't re-sign him. Hyman, Wayne Simmons, Alex Galchenyuk, Zach Bogosian, like, and then a bunch of RFAs too. Like big ones: Joseph Woll, who played Woll, whatever.
I don't know how to
The
say
goalie?
it, but yeah. No, the
Wait,
D man.
no, he's a D.
Oh, Hall.
Oh, Hall.
Hall or Hall.
Hole, whatever.
Hole.
I thought you were saying it with the W. My bad.
It's an H.
Yeah, Hole.
It sounded like you were saying wall with a W. I just misheard you. Sorry.
Oh,
They have Patrick Waugh.
so it's like you build this incredible team that has superstar powers during the regular season, easily one of the best teams in the league, and all for nothing. So if you're Dubas, you have to really take a step back and think about what are you going to do? And so there were a few more things. One, Mitch Marner has never had a playoff goal, right?
His last two playoff of sevens, I'm pretty sure. His last two, because the play-ins don't really count, I don't think. Or they do count
Yeah.
technically, but we're not including them here. His last two seven series in the playoffs, he has not scored a single goal. His
All
last
right.
14.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that. Did you guys see like the over the glass
I was just
penalties?
gonna bring
that's
that
sad.
up. He has like 5 pucks over the glass, dude.
Since 2013, he has 5 delay of game penalties where he flips the puck over the glass. Mitch Marner's one of the coolest cucumbers in the game. He's one of the most relaxed players when you watch him during the regular season. He's so
Mhm.
smooth. You know, there's a reason he was number 4 on the points list this year. He's just he has such great poise and really plays the game smooth. When he gets into the playoffs, I think him and Matthews combined for like 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah.
Like maybe 10 points between the both of them. And he's just not himself. He's all you can like those delay of game penalties. That's a tense player. You know, that's a panicky player making a like a off the glass
Yeah.
play, but he's holding the stick too tight and throws it right over. So that's another thing. It's like, how do you relax these guys?
Mhm.
What do you
I have
do?
an idea. I would tell the fucking media, the Toronto media that is always down their neck and
Yeah.
always all down their neck. You have probably 30. They have by far the most media member reporters in the rooms after every single game at skates, everything. I would tell them, fuck off. Tell the fans to fucking relax and just let the boys play for themselves. They don't really like, yeah, you play for the fans, but at the end of the day, it's a brotherhood type of thing right there, like a fraternity type of thing where they're playing for them. At the end of the day, every hockey player is looking to the guy next to them and wanting to win for them.
Yep.
And the coach and maybe even the GM and all the guys and family, all those things. They don't care about this fan that thinks that they're some expert at hockey that knows everything. You know, the guys that are yelling, they don't play for the guy that yells in his underwear, his tidy whities with a beer in his hand saying shoot the puck at the net. They don't play for that. I think they need a fucking the whole what is it, like Providence territory? What do they call it? Of Toronto, of Ontario.
Province?
Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to fucking let those boys play and leave them alone. Let them play hockey because you can just tell it's like I'd be fucking nervous as fuck too if I knew I was going to get ripped apart. They probably can't even show their faces right now in Toronto.
No.
They
And
probably can't even do that. Who
no.
wants to be at a place like that? Who wants to play for a fucking organization that has fans and media like that? That is not fun.
I think the media like can push you to play better, but
Yeah.
at the same time when it comes down to these playoff series, 0-8 in series clinching games, haven't won a playoff series in 17 years, and now lead the league with the highest Stanley Cup drought in 54 55 years. So one other thing is they didn't have fans in that building, and I 100% think that game would have been completely different even with a small amount of fans like Montreal had in game 6. I think that just a little bit of noise, a little bit of energy has proven to kind of pick teams up. Like Boston's got a full barn now. You watch that Carolina Nashville series, the home game won every game except for game 6. Like the fans really play a big difference in that. And the other thing that this is my last part, my last point that I want to make. Carey Price is the only player with a salary of $10 million or more to win a playoff series.
Which is kind of bullshit though, because Kucherov just won it. He's 9-5.
Is it
I
10?
mean, that's not bullshit.
No, you see what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
It's
I'm sure there have
close.
been plenty of players recently that have
Yeah.
won that are, in the 8-9 range.
But you think about the players that are being paid $10 million or more.
Yeah.
McDavid, Matthews, yeah.
Him, Matthews, Carlson now in San Jose.
Tavares.
Tavares. Well, yeah.
Bobrovsky with the
Yeah.
Panthers, right? He's making 10 mil, right?
He's making 10. Yep.
Yeah.
Never happened before.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a huge point where, like, I hate to be a homer, but Boston is such a good example of that. And like, you don't need to pay your guys a lot of money. You need to create a culture that guys buy into.
I was
They
just
want to
gonna
be
say
there.
that, yeah.
They want to win. And they want to be with a team that's going to give
Mhm.
them the best chance to do that. And not that Toronto's not one of those teams,
Yeah.
but something's got to give.
I
with
mean,
those guys.
too, like, I mean, when Marner and Matthews signed those deals, probably weren't expecting them to bring another player with Tavares at like 11 million, and you know they were probably like, all right, well now I look like a scumbag too
Mhm.
for taking so much cap of the team up. So I don't know, man. I just like I get your bag, man. Like get fucking paid, get your sheets in the bank. But I mean, don't be, I don't know what you expect when you're taking up
Yeah.
a 15% of your team's cap that you can use. I mean, the cap era, it's different hockey. It's a different way to make a team.
I have a quick question, or like one thing first. First of all, I don't know how Tavares's brain got turned into mashed potatoes and then he's skating like 5 days later.
Hockey
Yeah.
guy.
First of all, can't wrap my head around that. Second, about John Tavares, if at all, how different do you think the series would have been if like that play never happened and like Tavares was in the lineup? Do you think it's totally different series, or you think it's still typical choke Leafs?
No,
man.
I honestly, I do think they're cursed after watching this. I think maybe they would have lost anyway. Just
They
because
also
they
lost
are the Maple
Muzzin.
Leafs. But they didn't have
Oh,
Muzzin
true, true,
for
true.
7.
I don't know. It's so easy to be like the what ifs. That's
Was
tough.
Tavares's thing in game 1 or was that 2?
1.
One,
Yeah.
I think Muzzin went down in game
I think it was
3 or 4.
I thought it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But either way,
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I honestly, if they are in fact cursed, then no, Tavares wouldn't have made any difference. But we'll
Yeah.
never know that. But
Yeah.
I think that play definitely had an impact because I said it after that game. Like at least in that game, Toronto was just rattled. Like
Yeah.
they did not play their best after that play in the first period, and that's a big reason as to why they lost. I mean, they only lost by 1 goal, but still, they were a rattled team. They came out and said afterwards. So, I do think that play kind of impacted them and maybe their mental state a little bit.
Mhm.
But who fucking knows? Maybe they are just
Mm.
cursed, and this is the second time in what they blew a 3-1 lead in 2013 to the Bruins.
Yeah.
Second time in 7-8 years. They can't do it.
It's a long, hard look at themselves this off season. But this is, I mean, a good segue over to the Habs next series. They're about to be starting tonight as we record on Wednesday. The Habs and the Jets will be meeting for their first game, and the 3rd and 4th seed are the ones that make it out of that North Division so far. How weird
Easy.
is this?
I do want to say real quick, there were, I forget if it was, or yeah, it must have been 2 episodes ago. When we like first kind of started covering the playoffs, I said there are 3 teams that I think there's no shot they make it out of the first round, and it was the Predators, which happened, but they gave a little run for their money there in games 3 and 4. And the other 2 are the Habs and Jets.
Yeah.
And now they're facing each other in the second round, so just fuck me on that one. But
I think it's safe to say our brackets are
or is it the Leafs curse?
Boned.
Oh,
now.
mine is just gone.
One
I
of
haven't
my
even
boys,
looked at it yet, dude.
One of my boys had Jets in 4, and I called him a psychopath for that.
Wait, had who in 4?
One of my boys from back home, and he entered the Buddy Pass bracket challenge, and he had Jets in 4. And wow,
Good
He predicted the Jet sweep.
yeah, yeah, him in his sweep.
Wow.
Called it.
My buddy Quinn from home predicted. I forget if he changed it like last second or if he stuck with the Jets winning, but it wasn't 4. It was either like 6 or 7 if he had the Jets winning. But I think he might have changed it to the Oilers last second, so he could have been lying about saying he had the Jets.
Also, fucking Big Ben, there he is, just
Thank you,
lit
Big
up.
Ben.
Oh,
Just
shout out Big
gave us
Ben.
the
I feel like he
fire.
doesn't even actually listen to this. He just
No,
slides
I
up on
do-
all our stories with the fire
literally think
emoji.
he's in like a middle school.
He's
Yeah.
such yeah, I know. But it
Yeah.
fires us up every
But hey,
time.
If you are listening, Ben, love you,
Shout-
buddy.
Shout out you.
We'll send you some free merch.
Coming soon.
You have to pay for shipping though.
Maybe. But no, so I don't think the Jets are gonna roll that easy. I know that on Instagram EA did like their sim of the series. They have Winnipeg in
see that yet.
6, which I kind of agree with. I think it'll be a longer series. I think Carey Price is going to continue to kind of stand on his head, and I think everyone else on that Montreal team has a lot of confidence right now. But I just if the Jets can shut down two of the best players in the league, I think they are not the underdog in this series. So it'll be a fun one. I do think the Jets will take it in 7, but it's going to be fun either way. A couple bottom seeds.
I was looking at their series matchup through the regular season, and you see the Jets are 6-3, and you're like, oh wow. But you look at the Habs, they were 3-3. So I mean, 3
Lot
of
of
those
OT.
games were OT losses, and it's a really close game. I think the series is a lot closer than it looked like on paper throughout the regular season.
Mhm.
And now you got Carey Price even hotter. So he's sizzling right now. He's sexy. So you got 2 tendies, him and Helishbuck, buzzing right now. I think I would give the edge to the forward group of the Jets.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. All year long, I've loved the decor of the Habs. Pause. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think my prediction is going to be Habs in 7, and they're going to win the division.
What just happened? What was
because
that?
I think as he said decor, he was making a joke.
I
saying
thought you looked at
pause.
me. I thought you were looking at me like I was suspect, and I was like, oh, I'll be.
Oh, I wasn't.
No.
You're just
we-
giving the eyes.
But so Habs in 7 from Raff, and you said Jets in 7 aids.
I'm gonna say Jets in 7. Okay, I do think
All right.
I think the Canadians have a stronger decor than the Jets. Whoa, jeez, I'm having a hard time getting my words out right now. I don't know. I think the Jets were able to roll 3-4 lines in that first series, and
Mhm.
they're playing pretty damn well. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a long series.
I think it's gonna be a 6 or 7 gamer.
It's gonna be a fun one.
I know. I want to go. Like I'm thinking 7 games, but you both said 7. I just don't want to
Why not?
keep it the same. No,
Hey,
I know.
go with your gut, dude.
I know. My my gut is saying Jets in 7, and I'm gonna stick with that.
Good.
I'm gonna go Jets in 7. Like I don't know, man. Just like obviously this series was totally unexpected for me, but in the beginning of the season I was hating on the Habs, obviously, when like Raff picked them to like win the division and shit like that.
Which they still can.
No,
Yes,
no.
but-
Yes, they can.
Anyway.
Divisions
Yes, they
divisions are
can.
won in the regular
Who's the
season.
last one standing? If they win this, who's the last one standing?
But the last one
But
standing,
who's the last one standing?
the Canadians.
So they won the division.
But just because you're the last one standing doesn't mean you win the division. The divisions
matter.
are
We-
won in the regular season, and some teams put a banner or like a little tab on a banner in their rafters if they win the division at the end of the regular season. They don't put one in the rafters if they are the last team out of their respective division.
Well, then what happens when you
For
win
our
the conference? You can win the conference.
preseason predictions too, we specified that it was regular season standings.
You can still win the division.
Yeah.
I found a loophole. I think you guys are just mad about it.
No, I think it was pretty straightforward when we specified that it was based on regular season standings in that episode 2, actually.
I don't know, man. Because I
Episode
also
2. Holy shit,
said,
that was 20 episodes.
I
ago.
also said, yeah, wow, we're buzzing. I also said Carey Price was gonna have a Vesna year, but now
He
he can have a
didn't.
Conn Smythe. He can have a Conn Smythe year. So
Okay, that's true.
I'll give you
Ooh,
that one.
Fair
ooh,
point.
you guys are
Um,
mad that I'm finding a loophole. My Habs are now buzzing.
But I was gonna say anyway, when I was hating on the Habs earlier in the season, I have grown to like them a little more. I enjoy seeing the Habs win. I like a lot of their young players, obviously, but but I'm still going Jets in 7 here. Marky Mark over there, Shifley.
With
They're
the
just
Funky
gonna light
Bunch?
it up. Yep. It's definitely going to be a great goalie battle. I think when you
Yeah.
might have touched on that. But yeah, so Jets at 7. Sticking with that.
All right. I think that's really it then. Hasn't started yet. Hopefully it'll be a good game tonight. Game 1, Tuesday night. So yeah, going forward with it.
Wednesday
Wednesday.
night.
Tonight.
Oh my God, today's Wednesday. Recording on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
There he is.
That's still fucking me up, man.
We're all a little off because usually we record on Tuesdays, but today we're doing Wednesday. So
It was Sunday. All right. Well, then we still have we have 2 games done through the Bruins and the Isle series. That series is split at 1-1 apiece. Islanders with a big overtime win on Tuesday night.
Yep.
I'm
Nope,
getting my days
Monday.
confused.
Monday night.
Monday.
It was Monday.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why there's 2 nights in between game
Yeah.
2 and game
Okay,
I
3.
guess
that's what
they're giving them
fucked
2
me- oh,
days
yeah,
for the
that's what fucked me
travel
up.
to travel all the way to New York.
All the way.
Right.
Oh my God! I
They did it too
fucking
for
did that in the
Vegas.
middle of the night.
Vegas and Knights. They did that for too.
Vegas and Knights.
Vegas and the
That's a good
Knights.
series. I
Oh
love
my
that
God.
series.
All right, you gotta pass. You
I
gotta
need
pass
to,
the mic.
I need to figure this out. Oh
Pass
my
the
God.
mic to
Okay,
someone
give me
else. You're
5.
out.
Give me 5.
You're out. Yes. So
That was
Bruins and
funny.
Islanders. I think on separate occasions this through the regular season here, we called both of them fucking wagons, and that's exactly
Yeah.
what they are. Both teams are playing unbelievable hockey right now. I, as a Bruins fan, little worried going into Long Island tomorrow night because I think that building's going to be rocking. I don't think it'll be as rocking as TD Garden the other night with pretty much full capacity,
It's gonna be fucking close though.
but it's going to be loud. It's gonna be
Their
loud.
game when they won Game 6 against Pittsburgh there on the island, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
There, I don't know if you guys watched it live at all, but they were going nuts.
It's
Especially because they scored those 3 goals in like 3 minutes to make
Yeah.
that comeback too. It was crazy. But sorry, continue.
yeah, no. I think it's really hard in my opinion to pick right now. Like after watching the first 2 games, I think both teams are just firing on all cylinders. Bruins top line, Pasternak's hot now. He was quiet in the first round. He's hot
Really
right
figured it
now.
out.
He's can't ask for much more from him. A little worried about Craig Smith. He went down.
He skated today in like full contact and everything. So I'm pretty sure he's playing tomorrow.
I will shut the fuck up then. Fantastic.
Bruska's out though now. They put
Yeah.
they put Koolman on that third line.
So they got Coleman with Coyle and Richie on that third line now.
So
Or
Coleman will play
that's what they
again.
were skating with this morning,
Yeah.
apparently.
All right. Cool. They could. There's so many guys. If that's the thing with Boston, that's another reason why they're a wagon too. Is like if someone gets hurt in that lineup, you have guys like Trent Freddy. You've got guys Carson Kuhlman. You've got who else is a wagon there? I liked Stadnika's game earlier this
Oh
season.
yeah, I love Stony.
Like all these guys, they're
Gordy.
younger, they're a little bit smaller, but they just play with grit. They fly around the ice, especially Frederick. But they're
and Coleman. Coleman fucking flies, dude.
well, no, I know, and I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised with his game the other night. But you can't go wrong with any of those depth guys in there. And the same thing on the other side with New York. Those guys, like, they just kind of wait. They wait, and obviously they jumped on the mistake the other night that Lauzon made. Or, yeah, no, it was Lauzon.
it was Lazon. Jeremy.
Yeah, I know. Poor Jeremy. But you know what? Fast game, it happens. But they just not a superstar lineup, just a deep, hardworking group
Oh.
that kind of lies in wait and waits for people to make a mistake, and then they fucking pounce on it and take it to the paint. Sorokin looked great, but they keep going back and forth between Sorokin and Varlamov. So I don't know if that's going to come back to bite him in the ass. Fucking fun series though.
Yeah, dude. They definitely. I mean, I guess this is kind of an obvious statement, but like, you said it too, and I agree. Little nervous going into games 3 and 4 here in New York, and I mean, they got to split it again if they lose both. And if the Bruins lose both in New York, I don't know, man. That might be it. And I'm not saying that's totally impossible. The Isles could totally take both in my unbiased opinion. Obviously rooting for the Bruins, but wild
Another
matchup. So
another series that I think will probably go probably 7 games, which fuck, dude, that's a lot of fun hockey to watch right there. Raph, you all recouped over there?
Yeah, dude, I've been taking a timeout.
oh, that's right. I forgot you.
Yeah, dude, I've been zoned. Oh my god, I'm buzzing. Yeah, I think there's no way this doesn't come out of the aisle. Oh my god, dude, I'm just.
Dude, no, I
I
feel
was
you
in the
though.
I was in the sun all day, but no,
I'm
okay, no,
struggling.
I'm here. It's gonna go 1-1 again. I think they come back into game 5, tied at 2-2. With Jeremy Lauzon, I think that's one of the first times all year we've really seen the immaturity of our blue line when that was a really big question coming into the season was how ready were they? They're a young group. I think they really did well during the regular season and even in that first round. But that was also Lauzon's third game of the playoffs because he was out after the first game of the Washington series. So
And then Miller went out, so he came back in with Clifton. So
exactly. So I think you got to get that puck low. I think he knows that. He doesn't need to hear it from an idiot like me because even I could say that. Just don't try to do too much. And I think that's one thing that the Bruins do well at times is not trying to do too much and just adapting to how these Islanders play. I think for 45 minutes of that game, we fucking dominated.
Mm-hmm.
But that second period, oh my God, that's when they went up 3-1 because we just let loose. And, one of the biggest things I've been told in my, during high school hockey by my coaches, all that is you have to play 60 full minutes. You have to play a full 60 minutes to win a game. You can't just play 40 or 50 and say, "Oh, I played most of it." No, you have to play a whole game. I think again, these deflections are kind of fucking Tuca. That one that went off zone skate, which I don't think anybody should be mad for. You can literally see his skate isn't even pointed in that direction, but it was hit so hard off his blade that it tilted it, that turned it, went right through the 5-hole. So I mean, what are you gonna do there? And I think both teams are gonna have to answer one another. But by far, just such a fun series. And yeah, I don't really have much after that. I think everyone's clicking. Taylor Hall's looking good. Charlie Coyle, thank you for coming away with Massachusetts. How are you? Dickey was at that game too. If you haven't listened to
course
that
he was.
interview, if you haven't listened to that interview,
Wow.
go listen
First
to that one.
interview.
episode 9.
Dickie
Yep.
Coyle of Salem State Hockey.
Cousin of Charlie Coyle, and he's at that game too. Me and my buddies that were not at the game, we were at a nice little bar, and we saw that was like 3 minutes into the game, and Charlie just. I swear he just windmilled a guy 3 times, said, "How are you? Smell you later," farted on him on the way by, and just tucked it. And I was like, wow, that's why you pay that guy that much money, is because he does shit like that in the playoffs. And, I think a lot of people are stepping up. I will say, though, I would like to see a little bit more production from Nick Ritchie. I've liked a lot of things, like a lot of the little things, but, I think there's going to be a time where we're going to need him to come on the score sheet. Finally, Kuhlman in, don't mind that. DeBrusque, I think, still has played well, at least compared to his regular season.
Is DeBrusco with a little injury, or is he
I didn't see that. I just
a
saw.
healthy scratch?
I saw when Craig Smith is now in the
Yeah.
Conti jersey. I saw Kuhlman though in that third line. I didn't see
Yeah,
anything
that's
else
all I
why.
saw. There was no explanation for it, what I saw.
So
But
I don't know. But hey, honestly, at the end of the
either
day,
way, I'm not worried.
they fought back. They fought back to kill those 2 goals off the deficit. That's what you got to do. You can't just sit back. You gotta actually go get them, even it up. And we could have got it done in OT, but it fucking happens. Barzal with a nice little fucking upper shelf breakaway.
That was
Cizikas.
Casey Cizikas.
Wait, what?
It was
That was Casey
Cizikas.
Cizikas. It was not Barzell.
What number is Cizikas?
53.
Oh, I saw the 3.
53. That's what I said.
53, yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw the what's it called? I thought it was
The 3.
13. Yeah, I saw the 3.
Yeah,
halfway
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Too many beers at
but-
the range.
But I wanted to bring up only one game has been played in this series, but it was played on fucking rookie mode by the Colorado Avalanche with a
Dude.
7-1 win over the Knights. I just want to say real quick, I love Robin Leonard. I think he's awesome. I think he's a solid goalie. but why are you taking Fleury out of that net? Why the fuck? I'm not saying it's going to be a totally different game if Fleury's in that net. Maybe they still get fucking pounded, but like, dude, that's Marc-Andre Fleury, man.
That's his
That's
net.
one of the best goalies of all time. Like,
The only thing
who's
that
a Vezina finalist this year? Sorry, go ahead.
the only thing that I can think of as to why he didn't play was because 2 nights before he played game 7, right? But
Okay,
even
true.
then, like, you don't there's been the most goalie shuffling in this year of the playoffs than I've seen in fucking since I've watched hockey.
The Panthers going
The
through three
Panthers
10.
went through 3. Washington
that's-
went through 3.
That's right.
That's
Washington.
the new wave, though, dude. I'm telling you.
Washington's was because of an injury on Vanacek, though. The Panthers were just like, yeah,
Well,
we
I
don't know
know.
what the fuck to do
The-
here.
The Islanders have played both Sorokin and Varlamov, both in
Yeah,
game 1 and game
dude,
2, different starters.
It is
Like,
weird.
it's so bizarre to see that, because typically, like, you see for the Bruins, Tuukka Rask starts every single game. You've seen
Carey Price,
you
Hellish
know,
Buck.
Carey Price, hell, exactly, like, list goes
Vasilevsky,
on.
Grubauer, yeah.
Yeah. So to see Leonard go in, who I think I would, as a player on Vegas, I'm the most confident guy in the world with either of those guys in
Yeah.
the back of the net.
For sure.
But that's kind of a tough situation to throw Leonard into.
I
You know,
know.
he hasn't played since the beginning of May. You're going to throw him
Yeah.
in game 1 against the best team in the league right now.
Literally the best.
One of the best teams of all time, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, not on the record board, but dude, like that is one of the best teams I think of all time. Just of how deep they are.
Yeah.
Top everything. They have
Insane.
everything. But I do think that whole goalie switching thing, that's the new NHL. I'm telling you, I think we're gonna see a lot more of that, and while we don't see that with the Hellish Bucks, the Tuukkas. I mean, you're not gonna play them. You know, those teams have the luxury of that, of having a Lender and a Flower or a Sorokin and a Varlamov. But I think that's the new wave NHL of like, hey, if I don't have a fucking elite tender, I'm gonna go out and get a 1B and a 1A, or maybe just like 2 1Bs and something like that where they can both play. Why not keep them both rested and healthy?
And I
No,
guess
I definitely agree with that. But I just feel like in the playoffs, dude, like you got to find that one. And I mean, I know Fleury, obviously, like you said, Aids played all 7 games in that first series. And there were a couple of those games where the Wild had like 14, 15 shots on net and Fleury let in like 2. Obviously, that's, brutal personal stat there with the save percentage. But like, I don't know, man. When I saw Leonard was starting, I was like, dude.
And I get the regular season there was a lot of goalie shuffling because you're playing a condensed schedule in a very short amount of time. So I understand that part of it. I get, like, in a normal 82 game season, like, you're still going to get the guy that's going to play 50 games anywhere between 50 60, and then you'll have a guy that plays 20 30.
Can I
So
bring something up too about this series?
Yeah.
How much of a fucking cheat code is Nathan McKinnon?
So
the goal where he like blew by, I don't even know what defenseman it was, but like
It
the
was
one I'm
Haig.
talking about.
Haig.
Is that how you say it?
It literally looked like it was edited. Like it looked like it was fake. I was like, what,
A boy
bro?
molasses.
Like
Crazy.
He just, I mean, obviously he like flew through, like he picked up that speed, like
Yeah.
back in his defensive zone and flew through the neutral zone. But like still, when he crossed that blue line into the offensive zone, he just somehow had another gear.
His
And,
crossovers, dude. It's all the crossovers.
yeah,
Quick
it
crossovers
is-
keep him fucking moving faster.
it
I've
is
never,
insane.
dude. It's like, I'm sorry, but like, I say this every playoff year. This happens every fucking year where Connor McDavid has a nasty regular season. Could have done Edmonton, so they don't really do the playoffs thing. That's not their thing. They don't do playoffs. Whatever. They don't like it.
They don't do that.
But then we get to the playoffs, and Nathan McKinnon blows my fucking mind. Like, I'm sorry. I don't think I think to me, if I could take anybody in the NHL, it would be him for a full year, because he shows up, he does what he needs to do in the regular season, and then he's a fucking leader when it comes to bringing his boys along with him. Of course, they have Landeskog, I think one of the most classiest, best captains in the game too. But playoffs, he's an animal. He's better than playoff Crosby. I'm sorry, he is.
No, he is. In the
Even
last
Prime.
couple the last few years, he's been just fucking unstoppable. He's a man on a mission right now. And I think it's so awesome to watch because he's one of the most passionate players too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that dude fucking plays harder than anyone.
Mm-hmm. And
Anyone.
he took a pay cut.
Mhm.
See, that's another
Um,
classic example of
Mhm.
guys buying in to a
Mhm.
team, wanting to be there, working together, and not being out for the money.
He said it
know?
again. He said on his next deal is coming up. He said it again. He said, "I'm taking less on my next one because I want to win with this group." He said that.
Absolutely,
Guys-
that's a no-brainer if I'm in
Yeah.
this situation.
I'd rather have a handful of rings
We've talked about this
than
before.
I know we have. I'd rather have a handful
we
of
had a heated
rings.
debate about this.
Not much of a difference between $50 million and $100 million.
like it
In the-
is, but it
But in
isn't.
the grand scheme
like,
of things, you will neither
No,
of
no,
us, none of us will
I'm on
ever
your
spend-
side in this argument, AIDS. It was
We'll
Rafa
never
that was on the
spend-
other side.
If you have $100 million, you probably won't spend $100 million. You'll spend
Yeah.
$50 million in your entire life.
If
it.
if I like I don't know if a fucking genie came in right now and just put like
And rubbed
and
your
just-
lamp, kid.
and just put like $100 million in front of me. Obviously, I can't even wrap my head around like what I'm gonna spend that on, or like what I'm gonna do with it. And like say that happened, and then he was like, "Oh, actually, I'm gonna take 50 million back, but you can keep the 50 million." I'd be like, "Okay."
Fucking awesome.
Like that's still dude. That's still $50 million.
But
I still can't wrap.
million, dude. Why do you guys
But it's
not like
50
money?
million, dude. Bro, I
$100
love-
million dollars.
If
Is
you took
twice. That's 250 millions.
if you took all 100 million of it back, obviously I'd have an issue with that. But dude, I still have 50 million. I can't,
Dude, but
Raph,
when you
if-
start,
What am I supposed
when
to
you get
spend
to
that
that,
on,
when you
though?
get to like, you'll find a way to spend $100 million. You'll just get even more rich.
but
I'm
I
just
can
saying,
I can do that with 50 million as well, dude.
But
Like
you'll
All
be
right.
more.
I didn't mean to spark our debate again.
Okay,
it
yeah, don't
just-
get me
I
heated.
just
In this NHL world now, I mean, you obviously see it with Seth Jones too. Seth Jones said next year when his contract is up, he doesn't want to sign in Columbus. If he stayed and signed in Columbus, he could easily make anywhere between $8 and $10 million. But no, he doesn't. He wants to go and win a goddamn cup because that's what the players these days want. Nathan McKinnon and everyone else on the Avalanche, the Boston Bruins, like these guys all want to win a Stanley Cup. So they're going to take those pay cuts. That's
You
all I
think-
wanted
you
to
think
say.
Seth Jones is gonna take a pay cut though.
I didn't say a pay cut, but he could take all the money in the world from Columbus. Right? He could get
Yeah.
a $10 million contract a year.
Well, maybe I'm not sure about that because just because the Columbus's GM doesn't do that.
Well, I'm just saying
hypothetically,
Hypothetically, yes.
hypothetically,
he could do that and never win a cup there.
he would if he stuck with Columbus, I think he would make more money than if he went somewhere else. But he doesn't want to be a part of a losing culture. He wants to be in a winning culture.
But then how much of a pay cut though? Like, I would say Nathan McKinnon making like 6-8, I think it is right now, is a $12-11 million player minimum.
For sure.
So what would Seth Jones? You say he will take 5 and go play somewhere?
I would say probably 6.
if
I don't
if
think he
I
takes
was
6.
if I was Seth Jones, I would take 5 or 6 to go play somewhere. If it's somewhere that I'm like, okay, I'm like pretty fucking positive I could win a cup here.
Edmonton.
I don't know. No, I would not go to Edmonton.
They need it. They need a solid D.
I would go somewhere else, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I'm not saying that they don't, I'm
I give
saying-
Edmonton. I'd talk to them, but I don't know if they'd be super high on my
See,
list.
like if you went to Edmonton, I would say, all right, give me 8. I think 8 is very fair for a guy like Seth Jones. And if that's too much for them, I'll be like, all right, I'll go somewhere else and see if like Boston was knocking on my door
Yeah.
and they were like, hey, we'll give you like 7.5, maybe for a couple extra years. I'd be like, me and Pasternak, me and Chucky Mack.
I bet you.
Imagine
I
the
bet you-
right D side of McAvoy, Jones, Carlo.
He's a lefty, I'm pretty sure.
Carlo is? Wait, who plays that?
No, Jones
Yeah.
is. Jones is.
No, Jones is a righty.
I thought Werenski's a righty.
I swear Jones is a righty. Sorry, when you were saying a point, I'm gonna check though.
I was gonna say imagine I first thing, I got too many things in my mind. First thing, Seth Jones, Darnell Nurse. Think about that. Second thing, I think Seth Jones signs a 7-for-7 in Edmonton. I think he'll be traded there, or at least he'll be traded this summer to a different team. But I bet you he signs 7-for-7 in Edmonton next summer if he's not traded there.
Wow.
Yeah. Do they
I-
have?
Prediction.
I feel very
He is-
confident in that.
He is a righty, by the way.
He is a
but
righty?
Does he? Yeah, he might. Sorry, it's loading. He might play his offside.
Huge
Oh, no,
tangent
just-
we're going off right now.
He's a righty. Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
say whether he plays left or right D. Maybe he can kind of play both.
He's
But
ambidextrous.
yeah, ambidex.
Yeah. I mean, how did we get here?
I don't know.
Because Nathan McKinnon.
Nathan McKinnon,
beast.
best player in the world.
What I also love him too is because after his sophomore year, rookie, like after his rookie season, he really went through a slump and had to get like a sports psychologist. And man, that dude just did everything it took to figure it out and get back to like who he could be. Like if there's anybody that like tried their hardest to reach their potential, it's that guy right there. And look at him now, man. He's just crushing the league. He's fucking the league.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing I want to say about that series, because we're still on Vegas and Avs, is Landeskog. What a gamer, man. This guy will score and then beat the fuck out of you and then set somebody up backdoor.
I think
That's my
any-
captain.
anyone on that team would. McKinnon do
Yeah.
the same thing. Score, put one back door, and fucking beat the bag out of you.
I can't see Rantanen doing that, even though he's a big boy, but I could see him putting 2 in instead.
He puts 2 in and one back door. And
Yeah.
Oh.
Cale Makar looking dominant as ever, and Grubauer.
Like
just
what? 3 apples in that game.
Yeah. The beautiful thing about Grubauer is like, no, he's not a Carey Price, and no, he's not a Tuukka Rask, and no, he's not a Connor Hellishbuck. But dude, that guy just knows that he just has to keep his team in the game.
And it helps that he's got a sick team plan in front of him too.
Exactly. That's
You
he
know?
just knows. I don't have to steal a game.
Like,
They're gonna steal
he's-
it. I'll keep us in it.
He's only got to save one less goal than his team puts in, and his team puts in a shit ton of goals, so doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Hey, they scored 7. I can let up 6. It'll be an easy night.
And they would still win. So
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, not really too much on this series as it's only been one game too, unless you guys have any further thoughts until we go on to Tampa and Carolina.
No, yeah, I
Is
was gonna.
that the
bring
last
up that
series we have?
series.
That's the
Yeah.
last series, yeah.
So that
I'm
one's
sad.
that one's 2-0 Lightning, and both of them were 2-1 wins.
I'm sad.
in Carolina,
kind of.
that's
Yeah.
fucking brutal.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
you gotta
tough.
beat
Oh,
Tampa
no.
next 4 out of 5 games, and they have if you go to a game 7, they have 3 of those at home. Smile.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're
I
done.
did
so.
not.
Canes near
I totally forgot about the home thing.
Canes next year. That's their year, not this year. Next year. God
That
damn
ended
it.
abruptly.
But
Seth-
dude,
Seth Jones in Carolina. If you're gonna lose Dougie Hamilton,
if you lose Dougie Hamilton, absolutely, yeah. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
What happened to
I'm
Edmonton?
liking that.
I'm just throwing him out. I'm just throwing him
Yeah,
out. Just
just
think
throwing
about
out
just food for
hypotheticals.
thought. Food for thought. I
just
do.
Food?
little smart food. Food. Yeah, dude. I was watching those games as Carolina guy, and it's bullshit, man. 2-1 both games. Carolina looked good too, dude. They just like couldn't fucking tuck one. Like, I'm sorry, that first game, that was Carolina's game. They looked so much better. Maybe not so much better, but they had Tampa rattled. But Tampa, dude, they just have this like. They have this motor that I don't really think a lot of teams have. They have this motor of like, we're just gonna get it done, and we're gonna go score, and you're not gonna score, and they just do. That whole team is completely bought in. I mean, obviously you saw that with the cup
Yeah.
and everything, but that team, man, like that's a hockey team right there. Hell yeah.
So I know the last episode I was on, I said I don't know how well Carolina's going to do later on in the playoffs because I didn't think they had enough brawn. I watched
Justin Braun.
So I watched a little bit of game 1. I did like their game, but so I watched game 2 driving home last night because we ended our road trip, got in late last night. So I was a passenger to Benny and I was watching the game. And the one thing I did like, they were finishing their checks, but the one thing that I don't know how to like put it into words, a lot of waving the stick. Okay. I think the Carolina Hurricanes give the Lightning a little too much time. And
Yeah, I agree.
there was one play in particular where I don't know, I think it was Ruda
Jan Ruda, yeah.
Yeah.
on
Go.
Tampa
Yeah.
had
That's
the
who
puck
Edmonton needs. Sorry, go.
had the puck on the right side of their O zone on the blue line. And he had the puck, like he had just got it up, and there was one player, I don't know who it was. It was a Carolina player, maybe 4 feet from him. Just like he didn't attack him. He kind of stopped and like went down on his knees a few times and kind of waved his stick. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Put him into the boards. Make him move the puck. So it was little things like that in the game last night that I was like, you can't beat Tampa if you're going to give them an extra 2 seconds. You
Yeah.
can't, and you will not beat them.
Mhm.
So I can't really speak on game one in that sense, but last night I saw a little too much stick waving. They finished their checks, but they weren't hard on like puck
Zone
back.
pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I agree with too. And I don't know if that's a Rod Brindamore thing, where like he wants them just kind of keeping them to the outside, or maybe not jumping on chances, because if you jump, there's a possibility the puck gets by you or something, and that opens up room for the open guy. But I did notice that in that game one where, great pressure, O-zone, forecheck, back check, everything. I liked the way they were applying pressure everywhere but the D zone. It felt like they were a little too passive, and I don't know if this is like a zone type defense they're trying to play where they're just going to push everyone outside. But I think that's like the one thing I wish they would not do, is give them so much time and space. I mean, even, which is weird because you see, I don't know if you saw this too when they were playing aids in that game too, but their D jump down. They're not letting and the Bruins do this very well. They don't let the breakout start cleanly from, the half wall guy who hits the guy up the center, the textbook, yada, yada, yada play. They're pressing, they're pinching super hard as for the D guy, and then that center swings up and supports that D that pinches back. But why in the D zone are you then not doing the same thing? Why are you not applying that pressure? I don't know if that's a game plan or something like that, but I mean, you're gonna have to change something if you think you're gonna win the next 4 out of 5 games against playoff Tampa. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Like, again, I love Carolina. I think that if they're just a little bit stronger on Tampa, if they cut down just a little bit more aggressive on the puck carrier, it might be 1-1.
Yeah.
It might, but you can't beat this Tampa team strictly on skill. If you give this team an extra second, they will put it in the back of your net. So
they're not even getting into overtime too.
no.
It's not like they're losing these 1-goal games in overtime. That's
still close,
part.
still hard fought, but
oh my god, that first game, dude, they pulled
bit tighter.
They pulled the tendy in the first game, and it was a gong show. It was literally like in like at the house, what they call it, the house when you're like learning hockey at the house. It's like the slot area.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive there had to be like 10 guys in that area, just like all clustered around the net, just swinging at the puck, because it was just such a gong show. But my boys will do it. They'll figure it out. I'm not worried. I'll wear my jersey until they lose. I'll shower in it. But all right, everyone. I think
I feel like you might be a little worried.
Why do I look worried?
A little bit, yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, even more worried now. Oh God.
A man that dabs is never worried. George Washington. All right, I think that does wrap it up. All the series. Nice, fellas. We grounded through that. Any last notes?
Quick little hot seat team.
Yeah, just pick some. I mean, we only got 8 left, but we can pick one here. I'll go. You guys, does either of you wanna throw one out there first? I kind of want to go last. See what you guys pick first.
I'll do. Yeah. So Gonna be a homer. I'm gonna go Boston.
Hey, it's a
I
fair
think
pick though.
Yeah.
you got 3 games until we record next. 2 in Long Island and 1 in Boston.
Mhm.
Split the one in Long Island.
Uh,
Like you're not gonna win the series if you don't. So I think they gotta win. I think they will win. I think they'll go 2-1. Um, or fucking maybe they'll go 3-0 and win the series in Boston. Who knows? But I think 2-1. I think at least uh one in either game 3 or game 4, and then game 5.
cool. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Avalanche for this reason. Obviously, they just won 7-1, but I do not. If I'm the Avalanche, I don't want to give Vegas a game
Don't let up.
unless I'm like 3 games or even 2 games. Still, I want to get as far of a lead against this type of team as possible because if there's any team in the NHL that doesn't give up, it's that team right there. So don't even give them a breath of air. Suffocate them, shut them down. I mean, yeah, you're gonna go 4-0, and then if you lose a game in that conference battle, it's gonna be tough to come from that. But Vegas, man, shut them down, get them out of your way. Don't even think about them. You'll get Boston or Islanders next, and then think about that after. But I would be more worried of Vegas than I would honestly about Boston or Islanders. So
Mhm.
my hot seat team, shut them down, suffocate
I
'em.
I'm gonna go with the Jets here. Obviously, like we said, that series is starting tonight. And just
That's my
looking
second pick.
now, they play 4 of their games before the next time we record. They have a back-to-back Sunday and Monday for games 3 and 4 in Montreal, which is wild.
So
But
so Habs are gonna be
first
on
two
to that.
games, are in Winnipeg. I'd say got to try to take those 2 right off the back at the home wins. And
Maybe a
then,
little fans in there, I
Yeah,
hear, in
yeah.
Winnipeg.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going Jets here for this week.
Alrighty. Well, fellas, great picks. We'll see what happens. To everybody, thank you for coming into and tuning into episode 23 of the Buddy Pass podcast, presented to you by the Masshole Perspective.
There you
Have a
go.
great weekend. Finally, the shitty fucking weather is over.
One more note. I had beautiful weather all week long. I saw up in
Oh.
New England, it was the worst weather ever. It was like 50 degrees, rainy. But I just wanted to say that in Austin, Texas, it was beautiful. It was 80, 85, little bit of humidity. I had the time of my life, me and my pale skin. I know you can't tell on Zoom here, but just want to throw
well,
that out there.
get a load of this
Yeah.
guy.
It was beautiful in Aruba too.
Yeah, I'm sure Aruba was nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for interrupting the tune-out session. But anyway, to everyone else, besides these 2 fucking clowns, have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather. Maybe get a hot dog. Hot dog season.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. Peace, everyone.